is Nathan from the Southeast.
Nathan from the Southeast. What's on your mind?
I wanted to respond a little bit to that interview that Sam had yesterday with a guy, a lawyer, who was representing people who are in those like children behavioral centers. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I had a friend of mine who actually worked at one of those centers, and while I don't believe it was something as horrific as what was proclaimed there, even this better one where they worked had some like terrifying practices. I thought it was a relatively good place to work. The stories I was told were good. 99% of them, the children got better, and it was a wholesome environment, at least at this one particular center, right? Not, of course, it goes terribly wrong in other ones. But even at this one, there was a story that I was told where there's a practice of taking children to the facility, which was the scary part. So basically, they called it gooning, which was where they took the child by force. The parents would say that the parents weren't going to like drop them off. Like, how did the children even get there? There was a scenario where the parent could choose not to be involved. The child would be left at home, and then people from the facility would come unannounced to pick up the child and take them away. And it just sounds like a kidnapping.
Right. Well, that's
so this child,
that's what not Taylor Swift, Jesus. That's what Paris Hilton's experience was, right? I believe, and she has a ton of money. She was one of the speakers at that she was basically kidnapped, and that was in the middle of the night from her bedroom.
And I remember when that happened, and it caused a lot of a stir, especially because, again, hearing reports from the facility not terribly far from me. And again, I feel bad because I know the work that was done there, some of which was good, but the stuff that was bad is bad. And I guess I just wanted to really reiterate that point to some people about, like, the gooning, the kidnapping, essentially, of the child who does not know.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to reiterate the point that the parent chose not to forewarn the child. The parent chose not to be involved. And I feel like it's very indicative of how children get in these positions, the type of people that can afford to send their child to an away camp for their behavioral health. And they don't even choose to tell the kid.
Wow.
You know? They don't even choose to. It underscores
why the kid may be having some issues. Why the kid may need some more attention from their parents. Why the kid, right, exactly. I mean, and it's incredible, and I noticed this within the context of trans rights, so this is a bit of a tangent, but there are parents out there who really do not respect the agency and individuality of their children, and they see them as extensions of themselves, and it causes them to like either dehumanize them or not respect their individuality, and this seems like another version of that dynamic.
I agree, and I hesitate to really give this point, which was my friend who worked at the facility was a fantastic person who did great work with kids. And I've heard stories, again, of how good this one particular facility was, relatively speaking. And I guess my whole point is just to say that even with a little bit of nuance comes from, like, yes, some kids are helped, there's still this huge scenario where some kids just get really messed up by it, and the lack of regulations, which was not something that I was even aware of, the relative lack of regulations that are around this is terrifying, and I don't really know what to do about it, obviously, just being some guy, but I guess I just want to let people know that, there's good people working at these facilities. There are, and there are people trying to help, but, man, when it goes bad, it goes bad.
I hear you. Well, thanks you so much for the call. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Left is best.
Thank you. Left is best. Midwest Queer says True Anon podcast has a series about the Monarch schools from one of the hosts, Brace Belden. Personal experience and additional research. One of the best, most gut-wrenching podcast series to date. Wow. The True Anon did that. So if Sam wants to follow up, maybe we should reach out to them about that story. Crunchy says, my younger brother actually went to one of these schools. He has an oppositional defiant disorder and would not participate in school. He was there for less than a year before he lost an eye after being attacked by a violent peer with a pool stick. They ended up paying him $100K in settlement, but his life is permanently changed due to parents being swindled and negligence by facility staff. I didn't realize this was a widespread issue until yesterday. Oh my God. Well, that's just another piece of evidence to what we're talking about. I'm so sorry that happened to your younger brother.